Yeah.
I've been in this position about 1,200 times over the last 31 years. Spoken about 1,200 times. I've sung more times than that. Written, I figure, about 500 articles in the newsletters over the years. We've had dozens of retreats, any number of concerts and workshops. And all of them are different, and yet they're all the same. They're focused on this attempt to remember again and again that we are one, and to experience that oneness at the feeling level, regardless of our understanding of who God is or how God is. Regardless of our differences, there is this common longing to connect with something bigger. And in the circle, there is this desire to tell a story of hope and possibility that goes beyond the separation and the sadness of the dominant culture that's about profit and about getting and competition and less than, separation. And we're here to affirm again and again, no, it's not about profit, but about our prophets who are leading the vision forward, and that prophet is you, and you, and you, and you, and me too. And we're all in this together, and we're all conscious co-creators. That's what we're here to remember. The process of conscious co-creation is a process of remembering that I'm not in this by myself. We're co-creating reality all the time. I'm not a victim of what's happening in the world. I am a co-creator of a positive, powerful future, and of whatever's going on in the moment, I co-created it. I didn't create it by myself. I don't have that much power. But in concert with Spirit, the great mystery, and all the people around me, I have co-created this moment just the way it is. And it's important to accept it and be in it. And even more important, to hold vision for what's possible. Conscious co-creation is a process by which we individually and collectively take responsibility for our future by giving direction to the evolution of both our individual consciousness and our collective human systems through purposeful action. That's what Barbara Marx Hubbard had to say on the subject, very wisely and academically. What I'm saying is, I'm not alone, we're in it together. And not just by ourselves, but in connection with something bigger that we can't begin to understand with our minds, but we know fully with our hearts and our souls as we listen. So I wanted very much to come up with something new to say today. After 31 years of saying this, I realized there's nothing new to say about it. What there is new is my willingness to experience at a deeper, fuller, richer, wider level now than ever before. Despite whatever mistakes I made, and I made some big ones. And despite my feeling time and time again that I don't know what I'm doing, I'm scared, I'm sad, to remember fully in this moment, in company with this spiritual community, that I am infinitely strong, wise, and powerful as a co-creator. Not because of me, but because of we and because of thee. That infinite bigness that I'm not smart enough to understand, much less define for anybody, much less tell them what that God thing is. But what I do know is it exists, and it is palpable, and it is present in my life to the full extent that I'm willing to open to it again and again. So I look back over dozens of old talks and pieces that I've written in preparation for today, and I distilled it down to the ABCs of conscious co-creation. Keep it simple. That's what I need to do. Keep it simple. And there are copies out there in the lobby in case anybody wants them later, so you don't feel like you got to take notes, because it's just the ABCs. But A is for awareness. just being present and being conscious. It doesn't cost anything, but you have to pay attention. Awareness. It starts with the awareness that I'm more than just me. That I'm me, but I'm more than just me. And as I open to that moreness, it's important to breathe, which is the B. Breathe. Breath is our anchoring in the present moment. No matter what I think, I want to feel with you the truth of this very simple teaching that we forget over and over again, which is to breathe and be conscious. Because in the breath, we're not just taking in oxygen and nitrogen and chi. We are, in fact, filled with spirit. Spiritus is the Latin, meaning God flowing through. Oh, that too. It's wonderful to meet here in this larger room, it is. But there are some technological challenges which we're learning. It's with James and Sebastian and the professor and the band and you that we go to see. We co-create, creating an alignment with life, with God, knowing that we're not co-creating by ourselves, that there's infinite amount of resources of time and energy and possibility and wisdom flowing to me, to us, whenever and however we're willing to open to that. And if we forget, we go back to awareness and breathing. Just be, oh, here I am, awareness, and be breathing. So that I can anchor it in my body and can co-create from a place of peace. D is a willingness to dare. This one's tough. A willingness to move beyond my comfort zone and beyond how it was into how it is becoming and how it will be. Especially if I'm willing to experience it fully. To really be here in the middle of my discomfort when it's discomfortable, uncomfortable, as often it is. Between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock this morning, we had three complete, let me just own myself, three complete technological meltdowns around the sound, and the monitor, and Kiko can't hear back on the drums. And then in rehearsal, suddenly I lost the chords. I couldn't remember what they were. They just left my mind. And each time I was like, oh, wait a second. Come back. I'm aware. Breathe. We're co-creating. You don't have to do this by yourself. The professor's here on the keyboard. James and Sebastian here to help with the technology. And best of all, there's something else here to help. But making that an experience to dare to move beyond my discomfort and my oh, I don't know how to do this, this is no good. Aware, come back, and move beyond the comfort of my discomfort. And I want you to hear that one. The comfort of my discomfort is so comfortable and so easy to be in. That place where I'm not good enough. And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Dare to move beyond that, into the experience of being fearless, which is only to say having less fear, not to pretend that fear is gone. I'm a human, I'm going to be afraid, you're going to be afraid. There are things to be afraid of in the world. There are some mean, ugly, nasty things happening in the world that engender fear, but I can be fearless. I can have a little less fear at any moment that I become aware and breathe and remember that I'm co-creating and dare to move beyond the comfort of my discomfort. So that I can then feel grace. Grace, that the ineffable goodness which is moving toward us at all times. The great Saint Ramakrishna, the Indian yogi, he first brought Western awareness to Eastern awareness to the United States back in the turn of the 19th century, 20th century. Great Ramakrishna said, the winds of grace are always blowing. It is our job to raise the sails. Right? You can sit and complain, I'm in the doldrum, I'm not going anywhere, the world's around me, or I can become aware, breathe, consciously co-create, dare to get beyond my discomfort, and raise my sails to catch the winds of grace which are always blowing. Jesus said similar things, different words, so did Buddha. The teachings are many, the teaching is one. There's goodness abounds and is heading toward me at all times. Grace is, if only I'm willing to be open to it. And come from the H heart, centering my thoughts and actions in the heart, not in the head, which is going to get me in trouble again and again. You can't get centered in the brain. There ain't no center in the brain. The brain is everywhere all the time. It's mine is, I don't know. I don't know where you're going. But the heart, boom, boom, connected to the breath, has power. Especially as I listen to my intuition, my willingness to acknowledge guidance and the non-linear ways of thinking. In linear thinking, ABCs, 1 + 1 is 2, that's very powerful, but it will not help me be in touch with my feelings, much less my true power as a co-creator. That comes as I listen to my intuition. You might call it prayer, conscious, you might call it meditation. And then joy, my most fundamental, unconditional feeling, that which we're really here to feel, which is not the same as happiness. Happiness is conditional. I'm happy, I'm having cake today. I'm happy, I get to see Harriet and Gary and Lucian. Yay! Sam's here, yay, I'm happy. But then when Lucian and Sam and Linda aren't here, I can be sad because I'm alone. But joy is I'm connected to those folks whether they're here or not, because I'm connected to more than my persona and your persona. I'm connected to my joy. With knowledge, K, the collective wisdom of Homo sapiens is vast and growing exponentially. Who knew that the day would come when almost everything that humans had ever known, written, thought, or said would be in my pocket, available for only $1,200. Plus all my personal data, but that's another subject for another time. But that kind of knowledge is still just a fraction of the knowledge that's available to us as we move beyond our conscious minds into our intuitive knowing, trust our guidance, and be connected with the winds of grace that are always blowing. L, love. That which really can't be defined. It's not even worth talking about because I can't, no matter how much I talk about it or even sing about it, finally love can only be felt and experienced. But you know what I mean. Have your eyes really seen? It provides meaning and context for our lives. M is meaning. And remembering that my life does have meaning no matter what the issues or the challenges might be. My life has meaning when I remember that I'm connected to all of everything at all times. This one's hard. N is really hard. It's hard to remember this, but I'm going to try. N stands for normal, which is to say it's normal to get scared. It's normal to forget, but it's also absolutely, totally normal to stand up tall and proud and say, I am God. I am connected to everything and I know everything. And I am good. And I'm connected to all that's good in the world. And I'm manifesting good. That's normal. It's not sick. It's not egotistical. It's not problematic. It is what we were born to do, and we've been convinced otherwise. And we're here to remember that it's totally normal to be weird. And not just follow along with what the crowd says or with what Facebook is trending or whatever. Because we are one. The O is the big oneness. We are connected to all of creation, and from that place of connection we have purpose. We have a calling. We have a reason for being here besides just feeding ourselves and earning more and getting more done. We have a reason that is emanating from the depth of our being, and that is purpose. But in order to do that, we have to be quiet. That's the cue in the alphabet. It takes stillness and silence to be radically countercultural and unplug from the noise and the doing and the earning and the having and the getting, and just sit or stand in silence and be. Taking 10 seconds pause in the middle of a talk is a real long time. But it's only a fraction of the time that my soul really wants to reconnect with what it's really here for. R stands for royal. Each one of us is sovereign. Each one of us is a sovereign with free will to make choices. Or not. We can be a victim. We can let other people tell us what to do. We can think that we don't know what we're doing. Or we can say, I am the king of my domain. I am the queen of my domain. I am a sovereign. Given this grace, given this by the grace of God. And the highest use of my power as a sovereign, the highest use of my will, I believe, is to surrender it and give it up. The highest and best use of will is to surrender my will and to let thy will be done. And I can do that when I know that we're together. I'm not in this by myself. It's safe to surrender. I'm not the only one. Others around me also know the power of just letting go and letting God and letting grace blow through my life. Because you were in union, we have the joyful experience of being connected. And we have the vision, we have the capacity to see beyond the horizon of what is into what is becoming and what can be. We have the capacity to live with wonder, to wonder back here and wonder, what does this road look like? And what does this smile look like? And what does this moment have for me that I wasn't planning for? Until I just fell right into Deb's eyes, right into that smile. Oh, that wonder. Every moment, every child, every bird, every seed knows this. We adults tend to forget. I remember when my son was 2 years old, he could spend 10 minutes just looking at one ladybug on the ground and following it around. No problem. There's only one. Why aren't you still interested in that? I know you saw it once, but look, it's not moved. Wonder. And X. This one is possibly the most important thing I'll say this morning, to me anyway. I'm talking to myself, and you're eavesdropping on a conversation I'm having with myself as I try to learn the ABCs of conscious co-creation. X is the great mystery, the X factor. Everything that I don't know, which is a lot. Being willing to stop being a know-it-all, to turn over my position as general manager of the universe for just a few minutes and trust that somebody else and something else knows what to do at all times, under all situations, all circumstances. And give in to my why, my yearning, my innate hunger for peace and union with the all and the everything, with a deep peace that's present here, now. When I feel my zest, that divine spark flowing through me, to me, as me, now. To you, through you, as you, now. To us, through us, as us, now. And now. At least that's my story. And I want to keep telling it for 31 years and more. And from this place of silence, feeling your connection to yourself, to the others in this room, and to the higher power of your understanding. Feel the winds of grace blowing through your life in this moment. Feeling that you are truly blessed just as you are. And from this place of connection, opening to your vision for yourself, for the circle, for the world, at the feeling level. Not thinking your way forward, but just feeling the power of growing into your vision for what is possible for you, for us, for all of creation consciously evolving through you. And then from a place of peace, sending that vision, that love, that peace out into the world as a blessing, as your contribution to the conscious evolution toward love, toward peace, abundance, and well-being for all. May you, may we, may all beings be blessed by your willingness to do this, to be a conscious co-creator of your experience. We are one. And so it is.